Well, hello, welcome to a slightly different version of the show. This week we haven't got any live video for you this week, I'm afraid, because we didn't get the thing put together before the races disappeared out of Dropbox. But what we have got is we've got some fantastic photos that have been taken and sent in by Gray and Stu, and from some really good old ones from the 50s from Doug's dad. We've also got a review of Monday's racing from Doug, and then a lengthy chat with me and Doug about all sorts of weird and wonderful things. So let's get straight in with it now.
Right, welcome to my roundup of the first day of the flat on week 5, and just a reminder now that you can upload horses through the window this week, and also take a few of the donkeys out that are sitting in your stables. So let's get it straight underway, and the first race of the William Hill Mile Championship leg at Wolverhampton. It was a 0 to 100, and Liam Brady for Carl Arrogante got up 1 3/4 length winner, not hard pressed, so it says here in the form, from Darren Howe's King Inching. And in third spot was Ivanhoe Penang for Tom P. And Ivanhoe was another further length away, so that was showing that its form from its win last week is standing up. In fourth placing was Multiple Reasons for Leon van Rensburg, and in fifth spot was Force Fed for Rod McClure. Race 2 was the Ladbrokes Marathon, leg 1 at Wolverhampton, another 0 to 100 race. And this time we had the Thunder from Down Under, Rod McClure, and his horse Hieroglyphics got up and won easy in the end, 3 1/4 lengths from Shelwick, James Fowlis in second spot, and in third spot was Dusk Till Dawn, Graham Clutterbuck, and it's 3 1/4 lengths by 1 1/4, so it's quite a comprehensive win there by the winner. And in the minor money, Terence DeBarle's Prophet Crosby picked up a bit of cash, and so did Optimus Dubai for Stu Gray. Race 3 was the Bet Victor Mile Juvenile Championship leg at Wolverhampton, another 0 to 100. And this time we saw Darren Thompson salute the judge with Sea Swamp, and Sea Swamp won by 2 3/4 lengths, so it was a good win. Second sight, Martin Leadham ran a good race. It ran on from the back of the field, the tail of the field, and Jules Hughes' grand opening ran third, so we've got a few trainers in the first few races that we don't see too often getting in amongst the money. In the minor, cash went to King's Pion for James Fowlis, and Risky Rayon for Colin Clark ran 5th. Race 4 was a Voyage by Investec Handicap at Epsom, and Josh got into the money with Twister, and Twister won by 1 3/4 lengths from Majestic Missile, Alex Cherry. It wasn't too far away. And in third spot we had Leuenborg Star for Molly at Surfer. Fourth was Lark Zandiamo, one of my nags, and fifth was Flemmy Blue, and Martin picked up some money 2 races in a row, which he'd be quite happy about. Race 5 was the Investec Woodcote Stakes at Epsom, and that was a listed race, and now we saw the bigger trainers come out to have a bit of a play, and they don't get too much bigger than John Morgan, and Marcroft got up, only just got there, a 1/4 length win. Second was Frosted Fire Paul Rhodes, and third was Park Lane Girl Jim Murray, and there was only a length between first and third. In fourth spot we had Leon's horse Adarin Gwyn, or ALDG, and that ran a good race for fourth, much to my dismay, and only because I can't pronounce it. And fifth was 5 in a row, James Shea. Race 6 was the Diomed Stakes at Epsom. It was a Group 3 race, and Paul Rhodes bobbed up here with Kim Marsh, and Kim Marsh only just got there from Guinness, Martin Cairns, and third was Robin Goodfellow, Graham Clutterbuck. In fourth spot we had Flavouring for James Shea, and Joshua Sutherland's Breed the Beast picked up the last of the minor money in race 6. Race 7 was the Investec Wealth and Investment Handicap at Epsom. It was a 0 to 110 race, and Vines in Soho got up by 3/4 length, stayed on well for Darren Thompson. Second was Babylon for Leon van Rensburg, much easier name to pronounce, and Susie Jengi, I believe it's pronounced, for Molly at Surfer ran third. There's only 1.5 lengths between first and third. In fourth spot, another 3/4 length away, we had Penrod Bush for David Robinson, And in 5th spot was King Festival for Darren Howes, who was ahead away. So it's quite a close finish there, especially with the top 6 horses. Race 8, the Investec Coronation Cup at Epsom. It was a Group 1 race, and Twin Turbo Paul Rhodes just got there. It was quite an exciting finish between Paul Rhodes' Twin Turbo and Joshua Sutherland's Pumpkin. And at the furlong, it was hard to tell which horse was going to get up in the end. Both carried the same weight. It was just really a bob in it on the line. 3rd was James Shea's Mo. So Mo picked up a little bit of money there. 4th spot was Calypso King, Molliette's Surfer. And in 5th spot was Soothsayer for Leon van Rensburg. Just a little bit further down the page there, in 6th spot was Pub Crawler for Graham Clutterbuck, and 7th was Sagan for Marty Cairns. 8th was Green Lantern, David Robinson. 9th was Monte Carmelo, Darren Thompson. And Charlie's horse, Sam Nobulus, finished 10th. Race 9 was the Investec Oaks at Epsom, and Paul Rhodes not only picked up the Coronation Cup, but he picks up the Investec Oaks at Epsom. And South Carolina won well. From memory, it led all the way. It was quite an eager battle for the minor placings all the way down the straight. There was horses across the track, a lot of challenges, but no one was getting close to South Carolina. Egg and Crest for James Shea finished 2nd, 2 lengths away. On the Road was 3rd for Leon van Rensburg, so he's had a pretty even day so far. 4th was Hall of Fame, David Robinson, and in 5th spot was Berry Beach Girl, Jim Murray. In 6th spot we had Hen Harrier for Graham Clutterbuck. In 7th was Guilty Pleasures, Joshua Sutherland. 8th was Blossom, Darren Thompson. In 9th was Mysuru, Marty Cairns, and in 10th spot was Golden Prophets, Terence DeBarle. Race 10, the final race of the day, and that was the Investec Derby at Epsom, and it was the premier grade race of the day. And James Shea went one better than the Oaks, and his horse Triple Threat got up, won by 3/4 of a length. Came from the rear of the field, which is quite common of his stable, and just got up near the finish. It was an excellent run and an excellent win, and James would have been punching the air. In a 2nd spot was Geohagen Hart for Marty Cairns. So Marty went close on a couple of races here, a couple of the big ones, and just missed out. This horse was 3/4 lengths away from Triple Threat. And 3rd spot, a further 3/4 away, was Noble Peace Prize, Paul Rhodes, who I thought might have been the winner at one stage, but just didn't quite run it out as well as the first 2. Picking up the minor money was the Jackal for David Robinson, and in 5th spot was Enchanted Moment, Joshua Sutherland. We moved down the page. In 6th spot we had Starport Lad, Jim Murray. 7th was Sunder Parasita for Darren Thompson, and 8th spot was Lucky Jim, Leon van Rensburg. 9th was Spacious Den, Sirius Chew, and in 10th spot was Aurora Borealia for Molliette's Surfer. That's my roundup of the first day. I'll probably drop back in briefly later in the week from the Cranji meeting at the end of the last day, and I hope you all pick up a winner. Okay, my wrap up of day 1 of the hunt on week 5. And let's just jump straight on in. And the first race was the November Novices Chase at Cheltenham. And it was a field full of good horses, actually. And the winner was Cryptic Driftwood from the David Robinson stable. And it won by 2 3/4 lengths from Cairnsville Girl, Jim Murray. And Stay Another Day, who was ahead further away in 3rd spot. In 4th place was Classique, Paul Rhodes. And in 5th spot, another short head away, was Josephina, John Morgan. So that was a pretty good win from Cryptic Driftwood, and I'm sure David would be pretty hopeful of picking up another winner. Race 2 was the Slower Chase at Cheltenham, and it was a Group 2 race, and this time Jim Murray was able to get into the winner's stall with Pentaville Girl. And Pentaville Girl only just got there by 3/4. 4th star, Paul Rhodes, was 2nd. And in 3rd spot was Charlottenburg for Leon van Rensburg. Kayla for Marty Cairns was in 4th spot. And Colin Clark picked up a little bit of coin there with Risky Swing finishing in 4th. Race 3 was the Great Wood Hurdle at Cheltenham, and that was a Grade 3 handicap. And Leon van Rensburg made his way to the winner's enclosure with Sticks and Stones. And Sticks and Stones won by 1.5 lengths from Laguna Verde, Darren Thompson. Martin snuck into third placing there with Smoke and Mirrors. It was a length further away, and I thought there from memory Smoke and Mirrors might have been a red hot chance around about the 1.5 furlong. It was running on quite well, and then I think the final half furlong it just found it out. In fourth spot was the Professor with his horse Chronicle, and Colin Clark picked up another fifth there with Risky Sendawar. Race 4 was the Hyde Novices Hurdle at Cheltenham, and the Professor was able to break through with his horse Van Ice, and Van Ice won easily in the end by 3 lengths from Cowpot Street Girl, Jim Murray, and a further short head away was Cryptic David Robinson. Fourth spot, Majestic Heat, Darren Thompson, and in fifth was Championship, Leon van Rensburg. Race 5 was the Cheltenham Open flat race, the bumper, and the bumper's been quite a mixed bag this season, which is good. We've had quite a few winners, quite a few horses going through it now with the new rule. Last season, you may remember, we had just pretty much 2 horses that dominated the 12-week season. And this time around, Leon van Rensburg picked up his second winner with Eternal Reasons. And Eternal Reasons won by 2 1/4 lengths from Showcase Paul Rhodes. And in third spot was Crime Pool Boy, Jim Murray. Hollywood Hinton picked up some money with Jeep Shine in fourth spot, and Joshua picked up some coin as well with Fallen Hallelujah in fifth position. Race 6 was the Junior Novices Chase at Haydock, and Jim Murray salutes the judge with Ladytown Girl, and Ladytown Girl got there by half and was led from over the 3 furlong. And Gunfire, Leon van Rensburg, was second, so Leon was around the money, a lot closer to the top of the money in the hunt on day 1 than what he was on the flat. He was sitting around the 3rd, 4th, 5th spots for most of the day. Colin Clark crept a bit closer there with a nice third for his horse Risky. Joshua Southern was 4th with Kiss My Estate, and Daniel French picked up a little bit of money with Magic Soulard, finishing 5th. Race 7 was a Newton Novices Hurdle at Haydock, and John Morgan finally got into the circle on the day with Flame Creek. Flame Creek won by 1 3/4 lengths from Hothead, Leon van Rensburg, and Royal Chinot, Paul Rhodes. So all the big trainers up the top there. Carmpool Girl, Jim Murray was 4th, and Zawata ran 5th for Darren Thompson. Race 8 was a Timeform handicap chase at Haydock, and John Morgan made it 2 from 2 with Forgive and Forget, and he had the winner of the race before, race 7, and Forgive and Forget won by 2.5 lengths. Once it got to the lead, powered away. Skythea's De Bowie, who got lucky the week before, winning with the horse in front of it falling at the last. And Skythea's, did I say Skythea's? That's an old greyhound from South Australia from the back in the day. Sorry about that. Skythea's De Bowie showed that although it was a lucky win last week, that the form is there, and by running second and carrying one of the bigger weights of the day. And Stoke Lacey for James Folis ran 3rd, and James would have been happy about that. Green Park Lad was 4th, Jim Murray, and Chasing Aces Joshua Sutherland was 5th. Race 9 was a fixed brush handicap hurdle at Haydock, and that was a grade 3. And David Robinson picked up a winner with Fur Cone. Fur Cone just got there. It was a half-length winner from Port Grove Lad, Jim Murray, and War Marshal Joshua Sutherland was 3rd. Gray's horse Tugboat Jim ran 4th, and Darren Thompson picked up a little bit of cash with Costa Villela. Probably a frustrating day for Joshua Sutherland. He was around the bout, but not really breaking through. Maybe he'll have a bit of luck later in the week. And the last was race 10, the Lancashire Chase at Haydock, and it was a Group 1 or Grade 1. And Leon van Rensburg made it 3 for the day, and he's having a pretty good time over the jumps, Leon. And Hereditary Rule won by 1 3/4 lengths, so it was a fairly nice win in the end from Seek the Pearl, Graham Clutterpuck, and in third spot was Ebony Jane for John Morgan. James Shea picked up fourth with Hurricane, and the Professor picked up a bit of coin there with Last Queen finishing in fifth spot. Since it was a group grade 1, we'll go down the card a little bit. Then we had Belcourt Charm in sixth spot, and Charlie's Charlie ran seventh and was last, but still completed the course. Unfortunately, we had 2 horses pulled up there, and that was KevCon for Hollywood Hinton and Forest Classic for Colin Clark, and Darren Thompson Skythus Port fell at the 8th. That's my wrap-up of the first day of the hunt. Hope you picked up a winner. Hope you're going to pick up some more winners over the next couple of days, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Okay, how you doing this week, Doug? You okay?
Yep, no, I'm good, Martin. How are you?
That's good. I'm fine, thank you. It's been a busy week. It's red hot sun here. I managed to get my head sunburnt yesterday, sitting outside a bar with a couple of mates of mine who I used to work with, and whatever. I've got I'm cat sitting for the next couple of weeks. My dad's going to Spain, so he's bringing his Spanish cats around that don't go outside, so they're going to stay in. So I'm going to keep all the windows shut for a week as well, so that's going to be fun. So it's
that sounds good. Yeah, going to Singapore is always good. Nice and warm, nice and humid. Actually, just as a tidbit on Facebook, I actually like the Singapore Racing Club.
All right.
So every day I'm getting things from them on my Facebook. Yeah, it's always weird. You get photos of horses going past the winning post or whatever, and they're all just covered in sweat. Usually just a normal race meeting, if you see a horse sweating, you know you've done your dough. But over there, they're all sweating.
Yeah, I can't say as I've ever watched a great deal of racing in Singapore. I'll have to start broadening my horizons and embrace the wonderful world of racing, because I do tend to just stick to sort of Britain and France, really, a lot of the time.
I think we all sort of do. Like, I must admit, since playing this game, that's opened, especially towards English racing. I know a bit more about it now than what I ever did before actually playing starters orders, and I've always sort of kept an eye on Asian racing, because on Japan and Hong Kong and Singapore, probably because Singapore's about a 4-hour flight away from where I live, and Hong Kong is about 9 hours, and Japan's obviously a bit longer, and but because it's all in the same pretty much time zone, sort of get to see it a little bit here and there. So
okay, you're making me feel extremely lazy now, because sometimes I sort of think I can't be bothered to travel the 80 miles to Newmarket, and you're talking about a 9-hour flight to Japan not being very far. Amazing the different attitudes, the different sort of cultures have to distance. It's like, I remember talking to an American man one day, and he said about he was going somewhere meet his mate for a drink, and he said, I only lives around the corner, and it was about 250 miles away. He just meant up to see him for an hour. Crazy. Yes, you can't get. I moved 2.5 miles out of town about 9 months ago into a village. I only had 2 visitors in 9 months because I'm too far away. Nobody bothers coming round because I can't go that far. Different attitudes to distance. It's quite funny, really. So it's an action-packed week then at the moment. It's really weird at the minute because things SO6 are sort of in sync at the moment with the real life British racing, because it's the Derby on Saturday, and of course we had the Derby last week, didn't we? Yep. Which you did on Monday, and we've of course in a couple of weeks it'll be Royal Ascot, and we've got Royal Ascot this week, haven't we?
Oh yeah, exactly. So
we're going to do.
It's good how they time it sometimes. How it works out. Yeah. If it went any quicker, we'd almost have the Grand National in April.
I think if we'd have had that last season, we're getting close to it. Last season, I think Cheltenham wasn't far away when we were at it last season. It sort of balanced up that way. So anyway, we're gonna be doing some 10-minute preview shows for Royal Ascot next week, aren't we? So that'll be interesting. Give you a chance to equalise in the tipping tournament. Winners, I think I'll sort of beat your hands down, didn't I, Cheltenham?
Yeah, you rolled me there.
Give you a chance.
I hung in there for a while.
Give you a chance to equalise, and then we can have Cheltenham for a decider later in the season. So that'll be good.
I think it'll be a close battle, because really it's 3 trainers. You just got to stick to them. Paul
Well,
Rhodes,
I don't know now. There's some,
John Morgan, and Jim Murray.
yeah. I mean, there's some people who are doing quite. Oh, look at Leon this week. He had that many winners. He's been promoted to the Intergalactic Super League or whatever it's called. Whatever
I
other
did
race
see a
he's
bit
doing.
of mention about that.
Yeah, because Paul's
Yeah.
split the divisions up now, and I think he's called the division that he's going to win the Intergalactic Super League Universal or something or other. I don't know. So I think poor old Leon had too many winners last week, and he's ended up in there. So he'll probably end up being bottom of the top league. So I'm not quite sure what you'd rather be, whether you'd rather be bottom of the top league or top of the second league, really.
He's been harshly handicapped for one good weekend.
Yeah, but I suppose it's the same with everything. Isn't it? You've got to make the split somewhere. So it's always going to be somebody. Somebody's always going to be the last one in to the group that's a bit too hard for them, or the best one in.
That's it.
The best one in the next one down. And I suppose in a way you'd be better off. Like, I mean, if you're in a league where you would know you were going to win easy, it'd be like Scottish football. It'd be a complete waste of time, wouldn't it? So.
Isn't it only two teams there that are competitive?
It's only one team there that's competitive now because the other team got booted out for cheating or something, and they've just about fought their way back up to the top, but there's still so much.
So what are the two teams in the Scottish League? Is it
it's Celtic and Rangers, which were the two teams from Glasgow.
Rangers.
And Rangers did all sorts of dodgy dealings and stuff, and basically got booted down to the bottom league, and have now worked their way back up. And I think this last season was their first season back in the top league, but they weren't anywhere near as good as Celtic. But to be perfectly honest, you could go and get 11 blokes from the pub and you could give Celtic a game. Really, they ain't very good. Upset half of Scotland and half of Ireland as well by saying that, because a lot of Irish people support Celtic. So,
yeah, it seems like the EPL, that when it comes to soccer, like, that is probably the be-all and end-all. It's the biggest league in the world. You know, I'm not going to say it's the best standard, but it's definitely the biggest. And then you got sort of probably the Spanish league, and that only really seems like two teams. Then the Serie A.
It's a bit more competitive than it used to be. Spain, there's probably about 4 now. But Italy has gone a little bit as well. Juventus are so much better. I think they've just won it for about the 7th year on a trot, or the 6th year on a trot or something. And yet 10 years ago they got kicked out and chucked down to the bottom league for cheating as well. So it just shows you. So
that's the Italians for you, mate.
Yeah, well
they're always doing dodgy shit.
We had one win this week, didn't we? That Juventus, it won one of the races this week.
Yeah.
Carl Arrogante or Taunton or Daniel or whatever he's called himself today. He's got more names than you've got bottles of gin.
Well, that's true. He has got more names than I've got gin. I'm just actually looking at him now.
I guess the gin was flowing. Was it the other night when you got your winner?
That was one of the most outstanding wins of my career. And I was sitting in my shop watching the race, and I was just thankful no one was in the shop, because I went up with both fists in the air, mate. And I didn't know I'd won the race until the replay.
Didn't you?
Because they flashed past the post and they're right across the track, because there's 6 horses. There was a short head between each horse, and the actual race angle looking at the post was different to the replay angle, and they flashed past the post. And I quickly glanced up to the list of runners, and my horse is on top. I'm thinking, hello, here we go. And I'm thinking, so did it just get in front again as they went past the post, or what? And then the replay came up, and it was like, and that's when I saw it. I've won. Because as I said in the forum, like at the 2 furlong, I'm thinking, hang on, this thing's kicked. You know, this might have stolen this. And then at the furlong it started stopping, and I'm thinking, typical Doug Warren Racing stable horse. Looks like $1 million to the furlong, then run last. And then 2 horses challenged it. They look like they're going to run straight past it, and they just raced up to it and then just stopped. Their runs died, and then they were across the track, and it was a beautiful win. 0-85 or whatever it was. I don't care.
That's good. And didn't you? Last season only had 1 winner all season.
You might be right.
I remember you having one, but it was right at the end of the season, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure you only had one all
Yeah.
year, so I think you've doubled your tally. So that's got to be good.
It's without doubt the first 5 weeks have been, out of my 3 seasons, the most competitive I've been. And because last season I was actually quite disappointed with my flat team. It actually did worse than my first season.
Oh, did it?
When I was really expecting to have improved a little bit, and I hadn't. I'd gone backwards, and I've made up for it this season, I think. But the one thing I didn't do last season was I didn't trial any horses.
Oh, right,
I just
put them in blind.
I just thought, well, these horses have won in my game, so I just put them all in. Where this time around, I did some trialing leading up, and so that's pretty much what I did. So, and it seems to have made a difference.
It does, because you've had quite a few go close as well, haven't you?
Yeah, I've got my flat stable on the computer right now, and like it's not a big team. It's I've only got 13 in the flat, but.
Oh, right, so you can bring some new ones in then without even having to take any out.
That's right.
Oh.
So
well, you're lulling everybody into a false sense of security where you kept your 7 best ones behind, and now you're going to unleash them just in time for Ascot and everything and sweep away.
Well, to be honest with you, at work tomorrow I'm going to be smashing that game. I'm going to do some stuff I've never done before. Like I just love the game. I just love it. So I just play the complete season. But tomorrow I'm just going to race 2 and 3 year olds. That's it.
Right.
I'll be able to zip through a season pretty fast because I've got this one stallion. It's the future.
All right.
And
is it better than Doug's Fuzzy Screen? Because you've seen the bars on that.
The bars, actually, it'll go close.
Yeah.
I'm almost through a season now, so I'll finish that tomorrow morning. And then this first crop will come through of this stallion.
All right,
and I'm breeding with everything. The stable dog, the stable cat.
So you're going to get some monsters in. I've had a little bit of a disappointment this week because I thought that I'd got one as well, a monster, because I managed to pick up at an auction amazingly because I thought I needed a little bit of new blood in it. I needed to get some good cruising burst in, and I managed to buy a horse that had won the Ascot Gold Cup and stuff, and it got some really good cruising burst and reasonable speed as well. So I put that into the breeding barn and sort of bred it with all my sprint fillies and mares and things, and I've got a few good ones out now because I played a dual game. You get them in your game at 1, so you can see the bars at 1. Now I don't normally name them until they're 2 because I'll have a bit of a colour and I get rid of about half of them, so I leave the ones that I'm going to get rid of with the computer generated name, but I put them in the auction so that they're still in the game. So I've got game bred horses to race again. Sorry, I've got horses that I've bred to race against because they tend to be better, I think, than the game bred ones. And of course, it can get quite annoying when you get beat by one of your own horses that you've thrown away. But all that's to the fun.
What I've been going through. Yeah.
And you can see the bars when they're won. So I always have a quick squint at them. I never take a great deal of notice. I just have a quick look and see if there's anything looking any good. And I got the last lot before. And I'd got some of these yearlings that had been bred with this thing, and they'd got like 80% cruising bar, best part of 90% extra speed, 95% extra speed, and virtually full potential as well, and they're only 1. And I thought, right, I can get them when they're 2. I'll be able to load them in a few 2-year-olds and clean up the 2-year-old races with them. Well, this morning I just stuck it on for an hour while I was waiting for you to call, and it's gone to the crossover point, which is in April in a dual game. So they've become 2-year-olds. And what I've done is, don't normally change the names of the horses until they're 2, when I know the ones I want to keep. But these 2 that had got these supersonic bars, I thought, right, I've got some good names for them. They're both colts, so they're going to go breeding. So I'm going to call that one that. I'm going to call that one that. Fired into the 2-year-old season, got into them to have a look, and all of the bars are different. Cruising burst has gone right down to about 40%. It was at 80 when they were 1, and at 2, it's gone down to 40. Now, I didn't know it could do that.
Yeah, I don't know either, because I've never played the dual game, so...
So I'm now thinking that looking at the bars of yearlings is a complete waste of time, because when they go to 2, they change. Now, I only found out because I changed the names of these 2 particular horses. And so now I'm thinking, right, I must get that season. So that was the plan this afternoon, was when I get a bit of time later to sort of race through their 2-year-old season so that I can see if they're any good and then save them at 2, and then start the 3-year-old season and see if they're really good up to sort of like Royal Ascot time, and save them at 3 and maybe bring a couple of them in. But the bars have just gone down to, they're still reasonably
To
good.
average.
But they're no better than what I've got already. So that was a bit of a surprise. So anybody else that plays the dual game, if you have a look at your 1-year-old bars, don't be surprised if they change when they're 2, because it would amaze me.
That would do my head in.
Yeah, I know. Like I say, I'm in my 26th season, so, and it's the first time I've really noticed. So it could have been happening all the way through, really.
Yep, sure.
So I don't know. I don't know what that's all about. Whether you're supposed to do something with them when they're 1, because I mean you can't race them. So I don't know what anybody else does. You might just leave them there, and that's it. Maybe,
That's what you can do, isn't it?
Maybe you should be trialling them, I don't know, running them on the gallops or something. I don't know. Anyway, that's my sad tale of woe today. So it's my excuse why I haven't got any supersonic monsters to bring in. But having said that, week 5 winners in 5 weeks, I'm happy with that. If I can keep that up to the end of the season, 13 winners, I'll be more than happy.
No, you've done better than I thought you would. So you've been one of the more successful first-time trainers.
Well, I've done a lot better than I thought I would, to be honest, because everybody said to me, "Oh, you'll struggle on the flat," and yet 4 of my winners have been on the flat, and that one winner I had over the jumps, which is technically the best race I've won so far. That horse was in the shortlist for getting the old Spanish Archer this week. So that's bizarre, isn't it? So
yeah, it's weird how it works out. I know I've had some horses that have, it's hard for me, stuff that I've done compared to what John Morgan or the Professor have done. But I've had horses go in that have just dominated my game, and I'm thinking, well, at least this horse will do something for me, and it gets in the league and it just doesn't do anything, and the horse that I just didn't care about, that one wins.
yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
It is strange.
It's traumatic. I don't know if anybody else does, but to see your sort of 14 Group 1 winning Jewel Derby winner come in 12th in a 0 to 85 handicap on the all weather is, well, you have to reach for the gin, don't you?
I've gone numb. This season I'm just completely numb. When I see my horse tailed off.
It's not. And I also noticed in the forum today, John Morgan's retiring an 155 rated chaser.
That's probably his lowest rated chaser he's got.
Yeah, which is probably about £20 better than anything you and me have got put together. So.
Probably the rest of his stable are 160 plus.
Yeah, it's we're gonna have to sort of.
The jumping is a leveler. There's no doubt about it. Like the other week, is that something Glenside, it won one of the big races on the last week, and the week before that was leading and fell at the last. So
yeah, that's you just can't tell. You just can't tell with the old jumping, can you? And then the pull-ups. I was a victim of the pull-up bug this week. I got one that was tucked in the pack nicely. He likes to come with a run at the end. There was still a mile to go, and he was jumping well. And I thought, here we go. And then all of a sudden, he starts going into that dressage trot business, and I thought, oh goodness me.
So, I had one horse in the hunt that it's okay. I was in one of the low handicaps, and it was travelling real nice, and then it walked through a jump, and then it reached for a jump, and it just went straight back to last, and that was it. It was gone. It completed the race, but it was like, I had hopes. But just two bad jumps in a row, and it just crucified it. Because with my stable and with a lot of other trainers around my ability over the jumps, even on the flat, you just got to have everything go right.
Yeah, I thought I'd got a nailed on winner this week. Not the one that did win, but the one that came third in the Mackinson the week before, Tamara Champlin. It's the one I said to you before in my game. It either wins or falls every single race. And this week there was a perfect race for it. 2.5 mile chase, which is the ideal distance. It was a mares only race, so obviously the standard wasn't necessarily going to be as brilliant as it could be because the geldings and colts couldn't go in it.
Yep.
And I thought, this is going to absolutely walk this race. It was going really well, and then it did its normal trick and just decided to run straight through one of the fences and catapult the jockey into the ground. I thought, typical, that's his best chance for a win all season, and it falls. Next week, I'll put it in a grade 1, and it'll jump brilliantly and finish 7th. So that was that. So Anyway, transfer window this week, so we talked about that, haven't we? All getting them sorted out. We've got some new trainers coming as well, I think. I haven't had a look on the list of the names, but Graham was saying that there's somebody from India back in. We think that might be Satyam again from last season. Do you remember Satyam?
Yep.
You think that might be him? We don't know though. We'll have to check. And there's one or two other new people coming in, I think.
I'm just opening up my window now, and some names here I haven't noticed before. We've got Seri Davies.
Yeah, I think that is the Cat 94, and I'm pretty sure that Gray was saying in the forum, not in the forum, in the live stream, that's another person from Wales and another part of the Welsh Mafia.
Yeah, it looks like it's got the Red Lion and the Silks.
Ever growing Welsh contingent, and they'll be taking the world over before long. The way we're going.
And they've got a full stable. Chris Parker, he's got 17.
All right, that's another new one.
Yep, he's got the same silks as me in the trainers thing. So we'll see what happens there. Craig Mullen.
Oh yeah, Craig Mullen. He put some horses in earlier in the season, but I don't know whether he's been missing the deadline to get them into races. He's not had that many runners, but he's definitely around. I think he's called Craigie Boy. I think he's called in the forum.
Yep. Oh yeah, yep. D. Archibald from New Zealand.
Oh no, that sounds like a new one.
Yep, it's got only one horse in the flat, but that doesn't mean anything. Shimenez from South Africa, E.F. Shimenez.
All right.
Yeah, I don't be Tim. I don't know who that is. Let's go down further. Jamie Hopkins from Ireland, Shamrock Stable.
Not heard that one before. That's another new trainer. That's good.
Joe Buck.
Joe Buck, he's a commentator on the American football and the baseball on Fox.
I hope there's a trainer from the UK, Joe Buck.
Oh dear, let's hope it's not another one of the
Patrick Bartram.
No, that's another name that we don't.
Yep, they got 6 from England, 6 horses in the flat. Oh, there's Timmy. So I don't know who this new South African trainer is. So that's the new ones. I'll go into the hunt.
I think Gray said there weren't any new hunt trainers.
There isn't.
No, so I suppose really it's fairly specialised, isn't it? Really for the national hunt stuff, because unless you're based in Britain or in England or Ireland, you're not really going to be that much into it, are you? And you get into it sort of by association, I suppose. And some of the people who've got the game and played it in the league before, probably like you, really just think, oh, I'll investigate the jump side of it, but don't necessarily follow jumps racing that much. So maybe once they get the bug and they watch a few of the jump races as well, they'll think, well, one of those horses I've got not really fast enough for a flat horse. I'll try it over jumps and see what happens, and then it snowballs from there. So.
Yeah, it looks like the only new trainer in the hunt is Patrick Bartram. He's got 3 horses in the hunt. So all those other new trainers, they're just for the flat only.
Right.
So
that should
good luck to them all.
Yeah, it should be good. And obviously, I'll know one or two of them are looking forward to it, because they've been posting in the forums for quite some time about when it's time to join. That will be interesting.
Here's another one. Here's the Indian trainer.
All right.
Meherzad Mystery.
Oh, right, that's not Satyam.
Mystery Racing and stuff. Maybe not.
Oh, that's good. So
Satyam was based in Thailand.
Was he? Oh, right.
Yeah.
So we're certainly spreading the net, aren't we? We're getting sort of people from all over the place. So we'll issue a challenge to Gray, I think. Now we won't make him do it this season. We'll say he's got to do it for the final season of SO6, whenever that is, whether it be the season after this, or the season after that, or the season after that maybe, to have a special meeting on the last day of the season, week 14, where there's one race from every country where there's a trainer.
Yeah, why not?
So he'll have to build a race course in all sorts of places where he's never thought of building a race course. But every country that's represented should have a race on the last week of the season.
There is a racetrack in New Delhi.
Yeah?
But I don't know, because I remember when I was there in 2004, there was a racetrack. I never got a chance to go check it out. I don't know what the standard's like. I would assume it's probably not a very high standard. So
right. Well, it should be interesting. It's a challenge for Gray. He's got plenty of time to think about it. So he's not got much to do. He don't do a lot, does he, really? So.
He can do it in his off season.
Yeah, he can do it. He can do it on a Monday or a Tuesday. Or not. Oh no, he's got the races to do. And he's got What does he do Wednesday? He can't do a lot Thursdays, can he? So yeah, he can do it on a Thursday. There you go, Gray. That's Thursday sorted out for you. You start building some race courses in all sorts of funny places, and we'll see what we end up with. But that could be an idea, because it's I think it's good, the fact that we got people playing in New Zealand and India and Norway, where
definitely.
Daniel's come from. It's great. Makes it really good.
Spain, yep. Canada, Thunderspark. We don't know what's happened to
I don't know what's
Thunderspark.
happened to Thunderspark. He's not had any runners for the last couple of weeks, so let's hope he's okay.
Yeah, I think I've got his email somewhere, so I might just flick him an email, see if we get any response. Hopefully he's okay. He's just health-wise, everything's good. Maybe he's just busy or whatever.
Well, yeah,
just can't be bothered.
As we know, real life gets in the way sometimes, doesn't it? And you have to do. You have to do other things. So that was that. Anyway, when we're doing the,
I found another trainer.
Have you?
Yeah, Donnie Brook from the USA.
Oh,
He's got good silks. They look good. Yeah, there's a heap of names here I can't recall seeing at all.
Oh, it should be an interesting week this week. Then so we'll have loads of new horses to learn the names of as well. I hope people have been a bit kinder with some of the names they've come up with this window, because I don't know about you, but this season some of the names have been sort of, I think they've been doing it on purpose to try and get us going, some of them.
Oh, you've done better with some of the names than I have. Some of them I've just gone to initials.
I refuse to be beaten. I think I'm going to, if I get somewhat close to it, that'll do.
I've got the white flag handy, mate.
It's not necessarily the ones that have got difficult to pronounce names that get me. It's the ones that there are 3 or 4 different ways of saying it, or the person that's put it in, and I don't mean this in a bad way, hasn't necessarily spelt the word the way it's really supposed to be spelt, and then you don't know whether it's something else or whether it's the other one. It's like there's one at the moment which is called furnace. Now, like a furnace where you chuck things in to burn and all that sort of stuff. Well, that's spelt with an A. That's furnace. And then I'm thinking, well, is this furnace? Is it so? And then I don't know. I think I ended up calling it all 3 different things you could call it in the same race the other weekend. the first proper rule of the commentating, which I break all the time, is if you're going to say the horse's name wrong, that's all right, but don't keep changing it. Call it the same thing from start to finish, and that's why I have to keep saying. Don't think, it might be that, and I'll call it that this time. Call it the same thing all the way through. So and of course some of the ones that some of them put in that are real horses, because I know what they were known as real horses. Like John's got Lannerai, which is spelt nothing like that, but I know it's called that because I remember watching the real horse and hearing the commentators not knowing how to say it themselves, so they go and ask the owner, how do you say this? And with a lot of the Welsh ones in there, then names of places which I've heard on the news and things, so you can say that you and Tim probably don't get to hear. So, but it's the tongue twistery ones. If somebody's got a DJ Jazzy Jeff, you're going to try to say that in a rush. It's sort of like you get yourself in a right mess. Yep. But luckily for you, my East 55454 didn't make the cut, so that's not going, because was the the people that read out the football results. That was always the one that they didn't want, because it's 2 football teams in Scotland, East 5 and 4 Far. And they said if ever the result was East 5 5 4 Far 4, I want to read it out. So I actually called a horse East 5 5 4 5 4, and it was really good. And I thought, this is good. I'm going to put this in the league just to sort of give people a laugh. And it was absolutely awful, and it didn't get in. So there you go.
Oh, well, thankful for that.
Anyway, then while we've got this jumps show going, these pictures that you've sent, background, give us a bit of background to them, because they're pretty spectacular, some of them.
Yeah, I've just got them here. I'll just get them out. Just give people a background on it. My old man, he's a racing tragic, and he's well in his 70s, 77, 78 this year. Just lives and breathes racing.
All right.
Just fanatical. And when he was a young bloke, he grew up right next to a racetrack, and he tried his hand at being a jockey, but Mum said no. And so anyway, he bought a camera and he's taken photos of racehorses when he was young. And there was he just bumped into a professional photographer, and it just sort of started from there. So a lot of these photos that I sent to you, they're actually they're done by professional photographers either in South Australia or Victoria. And there's a handful, about a half a dozen that my old man took. You can sort of see the difference. But so a lot of the photos, anyway, you can tell the difference from the old man's photos because it doesn't have the proper camera, and so the quality is just a little bit different. But, it's pretty good and fairly recent. And like I'm just looking at some of these photos now because I haven't given them back to him yet, like the stuff from 1959. And as you've seen the photos already, Mark, the silks are coloured in by hand, painted on.
Good, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's got a good look to them, and so there's photos of horses and jockeys falling off, and there's photos of horses jumping over hurdles and steeples in Australia and South Australia, or
it's good
Victoria.
looking at the old pictures, isn't it? You see the different riding styles from over the years, about the different length of the irons and stuff, and how sort of they now sit further up the neck and all sorts of stuff a lot of the time than they used to.
Yep, definitely. And some of the photos, there's a couple that I really like where you can actually, I think they were taken at Country Racetrack in South Australia. It's a picnic meeting every Easter called Oakbank, and you can really see the people in the crowd along the rails, on the inside rails, and you see all their faces clearly and all the fashion of the day back in Australia, 1950s, and I sort of find that sort of stuff interesting.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
Yeah, and you look at some of the running rails, and it's just like solid timber, and you think, oh God, it must have been a nasty game back then. So
it's funny
as a jockey,
if you look at stuff like that, because I watch a lot of old racing from England as well, just because I like the history of racing, and even if you only go back into the sort of 80s and stuff, which isn't, I think it's only like yesterday. I know it's 30 odd years ago, really. Yeah. But some of the stuff that you see is, you think, well, crikey, I thought we'd advanced past that by then. They've still got dangerous looking rails on them. I was watching some race the other day, and it was on BBC TV, so it was the BBC TV footage from 1973 or something. And halfway down the back straight, there's like four blokes in a big banner, holding up this big banner about shooting the Prime Minister or something. And I thought, in these days, somebody with the TV company would have sort of like said, cut that shot and go to a different angle. Yep. They just carried on and took absolutely, and it's right in the corner of the screen, and you can see it all the way through. You think, nobody was bothered about stuff like that. And then we got this old bloke, I don't know, I told you this the other week, got this old bloke called Lord Oaksy, who used to do the commentating, and he was waffling away about this woman who was riding this horse in this race, and he was basically saying that she shouldn't be allowed in the race because her horse was no good, and she was a woman amateur, and it was basically, I hope she don't get in the way of anything any good and ruin their chances. and then he sort of qualified it at the end by going, well, she's a very nice woman, and hopefully she'll be going off to have babies soon. And I thought, crikey, you get absolutely crucified for that. And this was only like 1980 something. It wasn't sort of like in the dark ages. So it's funny with all that. But I'm sure if anybody was like bugging me, they'd think I'm some sort of a weirdo. I'm sat here at 3 o'clock in the morning with a glass of wine watching repeats of 1982's Channel 4 races, listening to the things they got away with saying.
Yeah, why not? There's a lot of I can't say that word. There's a lot of crap on TV, so why not watch something, even if it is from the 1970s horse racing? At least it was real and it's still exciting.
It was, and it brings back good memories as well, because everybody remembers the horses that win the big races, but you don't always remember the ones that won the little races that you might have had a bet on or won on, or just horses that you liked at the time, or maybe even that you didn't particularly, but you've just forgotten about. And then you see them and you think, oh, crikey, I remember that. And then that makes you think of another one, and all of a sudden it's sort of, it's good stuff. So they're great, them photos, Doug. It makes a nice thing for people to look at while they're listening to me waffling. And talking of which, what was all this I Got You Babe business the other day? Because you had a live stream of people in sort of hysterics, I think, for a while. I wondered when you were going to get back to the racing.
I have no idea what people think when I just waffle on this stuff, but it was a long race, so there was plenty. It was either that or I just sat there, keep on saying the same thing, because the order of the horses didn't change for 2 laps or something. So it's a true story. It really happened, though. There's some, it's one of those embarrassing things where you just, oh God, don't. And you know what? It's one of those things where you can see it happening before it happens. And you can't do anything about it. And I was sitting there as the singer and this American guy were chatting, talking, and I'm just thinking, Jimmy, don't say, how's Sonny? How is he these days? Don't say it. And sure enough, Jimmy goes, so how is Sonny these days? And I'm like, oh God, I just apologised to the guy or something. I just said, no, Jimmy, Sonny's dead. It was like Pulp Fiction, isn't it? Who's Zed? Zed's dead. And it was just, it was an ill-fated 3-month contract in India that we got kicked out at the halfway point and never to return.
Some of the best bands in the world got chucked off tours for doing things far worse than that, so I won't worry about it too much.
Don't worry about it.
Somebody I know always used to say about stuff, it's all part of life's rich tapestry. Not many people can claim they've been booted out of India for...
the real story, the real full-on story that happened there, I can't retell it because I don't know how well it would go down.
All right, perhaps at the end of the season we'll do a late night X-rated version of the programme. We can put it in there.
But it involves those rickshaw drivers and prostitutes.
Oh dear.
And fake security and fake police. So
it sounds like you were lucky to get out in one piece, to be honest.
Well, to be honest, on that occasion, yes. It's one of those occasions I called the bluff of the cops because all of a sudden I thought, hang on, this isn't quite right. And I'm sure if I did what I did to a copper in Australia or in England or something like that, I would have been quick smart on the ground. Some big bozo with his knee in the back of my head. So
possibility you're still on the most wanted list, is there, from there? Fugitive from justice.
Yeah, it was pretty. It was one of those, as your friend said, rich tapestry of life.
Yeah. That's good. So that's what week 5. We haven't talked much about the racing this week, but most people have been watching it anyway, so I'm sure they'll.
Yep.
I'm sure they'd rather hear about other things. And we're going to do some intro slots for the live streams this week, aren't we, for the Royal Ascot? So that'll be good. We'll have another chance to waffle later on in the week, and that'll be good. So I'll catch you in then, Doug. Good chatting again. Try and keep out of trouble if you can till Sunday.
Yeah, it's easy to keep out of trouble now. Just.
See you later.
See you, mate.
So there we go. That's it for this week then. I hope nobody's too traumatised about all that chat with me and Doug there. Absolutely great photos from Doug's dad there. Absolutely brilliant they are. We're looking forward to seeing you all next week. We'll do some live bits and pieces before the live streams at Ascot. Until then, we'll see you next time.